Kesha Nirmal, and I am the lead PA for SCORE from at MERP Systems. I'll be going through the release 2 functionality today in one of the FMCSA testing environment. Um, um, the agenda for today's training will be kind of giving the overview what the FMCSA SCORE application is. We have a SCORE state portal as well. What are the SCORE user groups? We'll go through the release 2 functionalities, what we have developed as part of release 2. We'll also go through certain resources that you can refer it later, and where you can find them. We also have kind of analyzed few of the support tickets that we are getting, and kind of we grouped some of them together as part of generic tickets, and we also kind of give what the resolution is so that it becomes easier for users to kind of just go through that. So we'll also review those as well. So the overview for the SCORE application is, as we know, that it is a web-based system which is built within the Power Apps platform, and it is used to track the CDL regulations. In the Power Apps platform, currently it incorporates all the business logic and also the workflow capabilities to automate the regulatory activities. With the release 2 features, what we have developed is that the FMCSA users will be able to process the CAP implementation extensions, annual certifications, the findings that are contested by the state, any noteworthy observations, and also the APR and STR checklist, and the review letter generations. The FMCSA users can access the application at the link that is given here. We also have a state portal for SCORE, wherein state users can collaborate with FMCSA users on all these functionalities that I just mentioned, and they can log in. They can use the login.gov authentication to log into the state portal, which the link is provided here. What are the different users in SCORE system? They are division users, there are service center users, there are HQ users, state users, and the SCORE admin. Division users are assigned, one or more than more of the 51 jurisdictions that are there, and they can also create or review content for the jurisdictions that they are assigned. Same for the service center. Service centers can also view or create content that they are assigned to. HQ users have access to everything. They can create and review content for all the 51 jurisdictions. State users have only one jurisdiction, meaning they can only see content from their state only. Admin users have additional privileges that they can manage regulations, they can manage all the user access, etc. Any questions up till now? I'll move on to what release 2 functionalities are. So in release 2, we have these 6 functionalities. First is the CAP implementation extension. So state submits a request to extend whatever current proposed completion date is there for the CAP. It comes to FMCSA. FMCSA can approve, return, or reject. Another feature that we are going to implement is annual certification. any user, either a state or any FMCSA user, can submit an annual certification. All annual certifications will only require service center or HQ approvals. Um, uh, State contests a finding. So state has only 30 days to contest a finding. And when a state contests a finding, it goes to the HQ to approve or reject. Another feature is a noteworthy observation. This also any FMCSA user can create a noteworthy observations, and we have three types that we are going to implement: is potential risk issue, program improvements, and noteworthy practices. For the checklist, whenever we have an APR or STR review opened, uh, subsequently APR and STR checklists are created. And these checklists are available for both FMCSA and state. Um, then we have review generation letter. All APR reviews have an option to generate letters, and they can be edited and signed online as well. Any questions here? All right. So now I will move to the process for each of these features. So I'm going to switch between the PowerPoint and our CRM application. So please bear with me if I'm kind of switching the screen, and let me know if you have any questions while I'm, showing the process in the application or while I'm explaining. Um, so the first feature is the CAP implementation extension. So the first step is state submits a CAP implementation. Um, then the CAP implementation comes to the division team. That is one of our FMCSA user. Division approves it and sends it to the service center, or division can return it to the state, and the state resubmits it. Once it goes to the service center either approves it or again return to the state for any missing item, and state resubmits it. If service center approves it, it goes to the HQ for the review, and similarly, HQ can also approve or return. And once HQ approves it, state receives the updated status in their score dashboard. Now, the thing is that if there is a third return from any of the FMCSA team member, it is considered as rejection of that CAP implementation. So in that case, state has to submit a new request. So I'm going to switch to the application, score application, and show how this works. All right. So once I log into my state application, I will be going into my assignments. This is the default page that comes in. Being a division user, all the assigned, whatever has been assigned to me is I see in all these different tables. If there are any findings for review, if there are any action plans, any CAP extensions. So I do have one of the CAP extension that has come for division review, right? So I click open on that, and I go to the review status tab, and I have the reviewer decision as approve or return to state. So I'll approve it. If I have any comments, I'll put the comments, and I say save. I refresh it so that the status can changes to the division state review. Just give me a moment. This has to takes a bit of, so here you see the status is now in the service center review, right? So when I go here, now being a service center user now, I can approve it or return to state. Again, I can put my comments. Once that is done, I save it. And now with, again, couple of refreshes, I think it will. And you also see that with all the approvals that has been going on, it kind of sends the notification as well. So now you see the status has changed to HQ review. Shika, can you change me to an HQ as well?
Right.
So that I can, yeah, thank you. So I can go ahead and, so this is because I have that access to do all this, but as you see, the workflow progresses depending on where what users have access to. But this is just to show and train that how it flows through the workflow. I have different accesses to this environment, this testing environment, so I'm able to show that. And my team member is kind of helping me to get that user level access changed. So please bear with us. All right, so being an HQ user now, I can either approve or return to state, and I click on approve. And so once HQ approves it, it should say approved. All right, so extension approved, the status gets updated, and it should show in the state portal as extension approved.
So if we look at the implementation 10 and we click into it.
Yeah, okay. I was looking for the status here, basically.
Right, it would be under the cap extension table.
Yeah, yeah. So the cap extension here that we just approved that went through the whole workflow gets approved here as extension approved, right? So that's how the state user can see on their portal. Any questions on this? Okay. I will move on to the next one.
Wait, sorry,
Yes.
we do have a question from Paul.
Okay.
Once approved by the division or service center, does the history show who approved it?
It will show like this from the Western Service Center. It doesn't show the user as such, but this is what I see here. If you're looking at my screen, the service center approve, and it shows the Western Service Center, like wherever it goes, depending on the region where it is. So it could be any user from this service center who would have approved it. But it will show as that region service center as like this Western Service Center, because I'm using Alaska here. So it is showing Western Service Center. Does that answer the question? And okay, any other question? All right. So that was CAP implementation extension. Next is the annual certification. So annual certification can be submitted by anyone, like state can also submit an annual certification, any FMCSA user, whether it's a division user or a service center or an HQ, all of them can submit an annual certification. Um, and so the division team receives the annual certification submitted by the state and approves it and sends it to the service center or HQ, right? Division can also return to the state and the state needs to resubmit again. Um, the next step in the workflow is either service center or HQ can approve it or they can return it to the state back and the state has to resubmit it. Once it is approved, the annual certification status is updated in the state dashboard as approved or returned. All right. So I'm going to show this process again in the application. So once again, I'll go to my assignments. Um, and you see there will be annual certification table, right? So, all right. So let's create a new annual certification record. So we start filling in what state we are looking for. So once you populate the state, it automatically populates the title annual certification for Alaska. You can put any details here. I will say AC demo, and then you save it. So, so this is still in the draft state, meaning it is still not, it has not been yet submitted for review. So again, if you have any other updates to be made, you can update the annual certification and click on submit. Once you submit, that's when the review process begins. Okay. All right. So I'll probably have to refresh this. All right. So you see it's in the division review now. Shikha, you'll have to move me back to division, I think.
Right. 1 second.
Yeah. Mhm.
It should be ready now.
Yeah. Okay, I see it. So again, as a division reviewer, I can approve or return. So I'm gonna say approve and save. So that again, same process. It will go to the service center for approval. All right. SC and HQ review. So you'll have to move me, Shikha, to HQ, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Should be ready now.
Let's see. Okay. So here in annual certification, either service center or HQ, they both can review simultaneously, and say for example HQ approves it first, then it basically nullifies the service center thing. Like it doesn't have to have a service center uh, reviewer decision. So when HQ approves it, it kind of approves it. And let me refresh it. And all this workflow generates notifications. Um, so it is approved. This annual certification is approved, and the state should be able to see that annual certification as approved. So let's go back to the state dashboard and kind of see that.
Keisha, it would be in the approved
126.
all content. If you scroll all the way up, all the approved ACs will move to all.
Here, all annual certifications. Okay, so the one that we just created would be here. It's approved. So comes on the state dashboard. Okay. Any questions on annual certifications?
We have quite a few in the chat box.
Oh, okay. Let me open the chat box. Give me one
Do you want me
moment,
to read
please.
them off for you? I can read the questions. That'd be helpful.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Sure.
So the first question is, where is the attachment to open for review?
Attachment in annual certifications.
Yes.
We can upload the attachments on if you scroll down just a little bit, we have the documents section. It's slightly above right there.
Here.
So we can
Here.
use the upload button. And these
Okay.
can be uploaded from here and also downloaded if needed.
Okay. Another question?
Okay, Jennifer, if that doesn't answer your question, just chime in and let us know.
Yeah. Yes.
Next question is, when submitting an annual certification, is there a hard stop if there is no attachment found?
No, because what we went through the workflow, we were able to kind of go, right? So
And alternatively, if FMCSA requires an attachment, then they can return this annual certification
and
back to the state and make a comment that uh, the certification is required, and they can upload that.
Next question is, if the state submits the certification and it is approved by the service center or headquarters, is the division office notified at each step?
Keisha, can we quickly look at the email notification under the timeline? And
yeah.
and the very top one, where Alaska Division has approved the annual certification. Um, so, and if you use the three dots to on there and open the record, this is just to see who all are the users right now. So I can check that in the back and confirm.
Okay.
Okay, next question is, once the annual certification is approved, how can I download the certification attachment?
Maybe at this point we can show any uploaded document would appear here on the UI, and then from the
Okay.
UI we can click it and download it.
Okay, so I just upload one here and check, right? Let's do that. Take this one, okay. Some image. This is what I uploaded, right? So, and then
We can directly click on the link as
directly
well,
click
and
on this and that should open it, right?
Mhm.
And then I can just kind of save as something.
Right, or
That's one
download
way.
it.
Yeah. Is that helpful for download and upload?
Will there be a save as PDF option?
Probably
I
I'll have
believe
to.
so. Keisha, we click on open location, or
That's gonna take us to the.
yeah, and if we click on whatever document we have, open that, probably we can save that.
I think this is an image, right? So probably we would be. I think if I
Maybe you
upload
can
any.
Word document, or yeah, I think right now you have selected it. If you uncheck it, then you can see the upload button again.
Oh yeah. Let me upload a Word document. Okay, you know what? Let me just create one. That's it. Hmm. Oh, God. All right.
Yeah,
Bear,
Keisha.
bear with me, please.
Yeah, Keisha,
Yes.
are you trying to answer the question that was asked? Will the save as PDF document?
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
the
Yes.
answer is no. The answer is no. And let me just take a step back. This
Okay.
system uses SharePoint. So whatever capabilities you have in SharePoint is what you have here.
It's gonna be coming. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Well, thank you. But yeah, I um all right. Okay. Any other questions was there on certifications?
I believe that was all.
Okay. And were we able to check Shikha where for the email thing? The if division is notified at all steps?
Um, yeah, I'll continue to look at it, and I will
Okay.
respond in the chat as soon as I see that. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Moving forward. Um, state contests the finding. So, state has 30 days to contest a finding from when the finding is open. Once the state submits that contested form, HQ receives that request and either approves it or rejects it. If HQ approves it, the finding is closed, meaning if the HQ approves that contested finding, the original finding is closed and the state views the updated status as contested accepted, meaning that whatever the state has contested for is accepted. if HQ rejects it, what HQ is rejecting? Rejecting the contested finding, the contested form. If HQ rejects that, the finding still remains open, and the status is approved. The finding status is approved, and now the state must submit the cap. Um, does that make sense? Any questions? All right. I'm gonna go back to the score application to um, explain more on this. So, Shika, I'm just confirming I'm still in the HQ thing, right?
That's right.
Okay. So, so being an HQ user, I see that there are a few findings that are contested, right? So that comes in my assignments, which are in findings for review, right? So I open that. Um, right? So you see finding status is contested here. So now the summary page basically gives us all the details about the finding on the top. As you scroll down, it shows the what state contesting finding is. So basically what state has contested, if there are any documents or any other comments or all those things can be viewed here. Once once the HQ user reviews everything, uh, you click on the review status tab, and they have a review decision to approve or reject, right? So once I approve it and say save, uh, and once the status gets updated here, we'll go back to the state portal to see if we can see that finding contested approval there. So just bear with me here. Excuse me.
Kisha, just confirm. Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So you see the finding status is contested, accepted. So we go back to the state portal. The 35, right? Okay. 37. You see, for finding 37, contested, accepted, contested, accepted. So that means that that finding is closed now because the whatever state has contested has been accepted. So, uh, any questions here?
We don't have any in the chat.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna move to next, which is the noteworthy observation. Here also any user can create a noteworthy observation. It comes to HQ to approve or reject. If the noteworthy observation type is noteworthy practices, um, the state is notified via email. For the other two types of potential risk and program improvement, only FMCSA is notified. So that is here a little bit different. Um, so I'm gonna go to the app and show this. So on my assignments page, I will scroll to the noteworthy table and we'll create a new noteworthy observation. we say noteworthy observation demo. We click on the type noteworthy practices for the state of Alaska. Observation date is, say, I observed it today. Any description we have, and I save it. So again, this is in the draft state, and you can add your if anything is missing, we can add more description or anything, and then we can kind of submit it when it goes into review. So you see the email notification gets generated once it is submitted. Uh, NHQ can approve and reject. Approve it, save it. That's the noteworthy observation. Any questions?
None in the chat. Oh,
None. Okay.
hold on, just got one.
Yes. Yes.
The contested finding and noteworthy observations potentially risk noteworthy observation and best practices are, oh, it was just a statement, are great additions.
Sorry, Becky, your voice was breaking.
It wasn't a question, it was, they were just making a comment.
Oh, okay.
There is a question though, can you upload documents or photos?
For
For the
noteworthy
observation?
observations, we don't have a document upload in the new system.
No more questions.
Okay. All right. Okay. So next is APR and STR checklist. So the process for this is FMCSA team submits an APR or STR review, and once you submit that APR or STR, a subsequent checklist gets created. Then FMCSA team can view all the sections and the associated questions and enters all the responses. FMCSA can also view state responses in the state note section, which I'll show very soon. And then when the review is complete with all this checklist, we enter the checklist completion date, and the review status gets updated to closed. So, Shika, can you move me back to the division user?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Should be ready now.
Okay. All right. So let's create the new review so that way we know how we can have the review and then later on the review letter generated for the same review. I click on the new from the review table. We look for what state we want to create the review for. So we say Alaska. Review type, say annual program review, and you see the review title gets automatically updated as in when you are selecting the state and the review type. Now for APR, the checklist would be APR, schedule date, say today's date, uh, and I'll say save. Okay. I say should refresh. All right.
Kisha, did you click the submit button?
Yeah, no, no, no. That's what I just. Okay, so clicking on submit, uh, it's just kind of refreshing it. 1 second. See. All right. So once I submit, you see that I have the APR checklist created. And I click on that, and you see all the data that is there. And when you scroll down, you see all the checklist questions uh, that are there, and I can go in each of them and see what are those checklist questions, and I can kind of respond to the questions here with on in the FMCSA notes slash outcome. So I and you see here that's the state notes and outcomes. So if anything that state has entered for that review, we can also see it here. Um, so once I enter my responses, I say save, go back, and I respond to other questions in the similar way. Once all the questions are answered, um, the FMCSA folks will sign it and will put in date when this was filled up. Confirm, save again. And then I put my checklist created date. It's today's date, and then I completed today itself. So I save it. And that way it shows me that it is in completed state, right? Any question on this checklist?
Yeah, we have a couple in the chat.
Yeah.
First one, are divisions required to use the online questionnaire and no longer be able to use the external questionnaire, which is the Word version that they currently use?
So the
External
system would,
is this one,
yeah.
right?
Actually, I think, Aisha, this is referring to what they were doing in the previous system, where there was an
Right.
external Word document. So,
Mhm.
so technically, we have this inbuilt checklist in the new system, which can be used in like starting with the second release. Um, Alternatively, there is an option that attachments can be uploaded, but the system does not restrict that.
To add to that, I think just as a system, we do want to have the online questionnaires, as it also gives the provision to HQ to be able to look at all the answers in one shot, run some reporting, and that's the reason online questionnaire is encouraged. All right, the second question, can we print the checklist
Hey,
so we can
Pallavi, sorry.
go ahead, Tiki.
Just give us a few seconds. There's communication going on in the background, as you can imagine.
Mhm.
So thank you, first of all. Thank you to our FMCSA partners for asking the really tough questions. We knew this section was going to get a lot of interest. So let me give Becky a chance to unmute herself. Becky, what do you think? The question is, are divisions required to use the online questionnaire, and divisions will no longer be able to use the external questionnaire? Any thoughts on that, Becky?
At this time, I'm not really sure of that answer, but I will get back on that one.
Sounds good. So we promise we'll get back to you. What you're seeing here, as you can tell, this is um, a deviation, a new direction in the way that we're going to be collecting information in the future. So please stand by. We will be providing a lot more guidance going forward.
Correct.
So back to you, Pallavi.
Thank you, Tiki. Thank you, Becky. Can we print the checklist so we can see what we're working on, or do we have to click on each question to see them?
So yes, we will have to click on each of the questions to see them.
There's no print option at this point. All right, next question. Once signed, are we able to edit any answers under the guidance of HQ?
We can check that right now. Okay, sure.
Sure. Yeah. So say for example, I think I had responded to this. So I think yeah, I'm able to. I'm able to change even it is closed. It's completed, right? The review. I'm able to change it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next question, is there an indicator for each question that a response has been entered?
Kesha, can we quickly click on the checklist?
1 second. Sure.
And if we scroll on the right,
On the right. Okay.
yeah, no, not on, it's not here. Right, I was thinking if we have a column, then we could probably see, but it's not.
Yeah, I don't see it here. Yep. No.
For sure, we'll get back to
Mm,
this and add it as an enhancement. I don't think we have that option as of today. Thank you for your feedback.
Okay. Just
Next question is, if supporting documentation is required for a specific question, is it uploaded with the question or as an attachment to the checklist?
So the attachment is with the checklist. but there's no specific attachment with a specific question.
Okay. Those were the only questions. Anything else?
Okay. All right. The last thing is the review letter generation.
Sorry,
So
Keisha, I think
yeah, go
there
ahead.
there's one more question that I just saw
Yes,
popping
please
up in chat.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
If the checklist and score is required to be used, would suggest having a hard stop error message that alerts the user from submitting until the checklist is complete. So I think that's more like a enhancement.
Okay. 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 Anything else? Okay. So review letter generation. So when we put completion date on the APR review, we see a new tab called review letter, which which we saw here. That once this letter was completed, we saw the review letter tab here. When you click on it, we'll see this basic information that review letter action. So that there's a drop down which kind of select any uh, the first step is to generate the letter. So we select generate letter. For generating letter is it's gonna ask us the key contact for the letter. So we just enter name, say um, the Alaska Canton. Just entering this thing. Uh, okay. Division administrator again. Uh, one, two, three, 110. Okay. So once that is done, we enter all information and we save. So here, let me refresh. So the review letter status will change. Of refreshes here. Okay. Letter is created. Okay.
Can we try a hard refresh? Maybe.
You mean here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Letter created. So that letter can be viewed here. When you click on this globe icon, it will open the SharePoint location and you can click on it, and it will show the review letter um, with the Alaska office letterhead on top, and then all the other uh, review APR review details. Um, Once we are ready to submit the letter, we submit it. Yes, so we say submit letter, um, and then I'm gonna refresh it. It's gonna show letter in review. Means the letter has been sent to the division team. Um, once the so division team can either return the letter if there is any information is incorrect, or they can approve the letter. So say approve letter. Um, Letter gets approved. Once the letter gets approved, and then the letter is sent to the state. So this completes the whole life cycle of review letter. Any questions?
So let me jump in, Tisha.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
I anticipate that the same questions that we encountered earlier
Uh-huh.
regarding the checklist will probably be
Uh-huh.
relevant for when we start talking. So this is again a new function that this audience is
Yes.
seeing for the first time. And
Yes.
so we're really excited that we're sharing these new
Mm-hmm.
functions. The idea
Mm-hmm.
here for our
Mm-hmm.
division offices, service centers, um, some division offices generate a letter that they send to the SDLA uh, participants at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
review. Other division offices do not. So we kept this flexibility in mind when we created this function. The first question
Mm-hmm.
that may be coming to your mind is, as a user, division user, or service center user, are you required to use this letter generation function that we are offering release to? And the answer is no. The answer is we we are giving you flexibility, and there's ways that I don't know, Akisha, if you're planning to demonstrate, but there's ways where you can upload your own letter into the system without having gone through the screens that we just saw a few minutes ago. Um, oh, so Keisha, let me frame that in a form of a question. Um,
Mm-hmm.
is it true that division users and service center users, they're not required to use this letter generation function?
That's right. The system is not imposing to use the review letter option.
Great. And then for those that do decide they want to use this function, what you demonstrated here is the ability to go from the beginning of the process when they begin to generate the letter until the end, when the letter is actually produced and stored in SharePoint. Is there any kind
Mm-hmm.
of approval process that goes on in this letter generation function? For example, does the service center have to approve the letters, or does headquarters need to approve the letters?
No,
Um.
it stays within division team, and the whole letter generation process from start to end stays with the division users.
Okay, well, thanks again. So I'll give the floor back to you. There's questions in the chat room, but I think they're still talking about the checklists. So back to you.
Okay. What is the question, Shika, on the checklist?
Sure. Will the state receive a version of the completed checklist on the state's portal site?
Mm, yeah,
So
they
state,
should.
yeah, I think we can show the state portal.
Yeah.
And I think we can open one of the APR checklists to show uh, the FMCSA responses and the ability for the state to enter the responses.
Right. The one we just did.
I think it was number
Here.
40. Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Hmm. Yeah. So for state, this is how it looks, and this is the checklist section here, and this is where they can go and check, right? Edit. uh,
So I sort of entered some response as a state for section one, question one.
Okay.
Uh,
So here is the state notes and outcome, and that was the FMCSA that I added. And this is the state note. So yeah, that's how it's gonna look at the state end. Um, yeah.
so the next question is there a default setting for state and division office contact information? If this is referring to the letter, we are, uh, Kesha, please correct me. In the letter header, we have
Hmm.
the service center office's address. Is that,
Division office.
sorry, division office? Yeah. So we do have a default setting for the division office contact information. But for the state, we don't. And the next question is, does SCORE transmit the letter to the state, or do we need to download and email it? So I can respond to that. We don't, you would need to download and email it or post it. That is outside the system. Okay. The next one we have is, can we see the SDR? Is there a printable version to take on site with us? Usually, I print a copy to take to the third party testing site and reference the form to ensure that I gather all the information necessary. So, right now, we don't have the printable version, but we can definitely show an SDR checklist by creating one right now.
Okay. Create one SDR. I think it should be fine, right?
Yeah.
Um,
So it takes a couple of seconds for checklist to show up on you on the screen since it's the system is generating in the background.
okay, this is the SDR, and these are the questions. So we go in each and put our notes here, similar to what we saw earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the last question I see right now.
Yep. Okay. All right. Okay. So that completes the feature overview for the release 2. Um, do we have time to go over the tickets? Okay. So these are the resources. So we have the links to the score app and the state portal, and then we have all these training and user guides that are uploaded to the um,
No zone.
SharePoint and yes,
No zone.
and then the score support can be contacted at FMCSA score support at dot.gov. Right. Um, so we had a few of the support tickets that had been coming in, how to export the report, how to update any finding title, um, and there is a try a new look option on the on the app, and also how to open the attachments. So for that we kind of updated the user guide and have shown the steps on how to do those. So I will go one by one on those as well. um, so first one was the export option for reports. So we go back to the application. So any report is found under reports tab here. We click on the dashboard that we want to export the report. So here, for example, I'm taking action plans report. So I click on the action plan report dashboard. Um, what I would see here is all the records of all the action plans that are there. I see filters of service center, state, any dates, like the completion date and the created date, cap status, and regulation. So I can apply these filters on what I want to see. Once the filter are applied, this table that we see down here gets updated. And when once that is done, you see there is this three dots here, which says more options near this table. You click on it and you click on export data. You want a data with the current layout, meaning all the columns that you see here in the table, it will get exported in that format. And once you click on that, you click export, and it will show that it's exporting data, and it gets downloaded on your downloads folder. And then once it is downloaded, you can just open that Excel file, and then you can kind of filter or kind of work it out on in that. So that's one way to that is how you export. Um, there was another support ticket which was talking about try the new look. Um, if you enable this toggle button, some of the features in the CRM gets disabled. So um, we advise that you do not use it at this point in time. Just switch this back off. Um, we are trying to see how to kind of disable this so that it doesn't show up. So that is one thing. Um, the other one of the common support items that we have been getting is to update the finding title or editing the description. So the thing is that for any findings, if they are approved, like if they are submitted, you cannot change the title or description. So what we recommend is that whenever we are creating a new finding, uh, we request you to use this search button here, this magnifying glass, that will help you to look up whatever regulate for that regulation, if what all findings are available. Say for example, I selected this 384.202. I have three findings that are available for me, so I can select any of it, and in this particular box of finding title, I can add more details or update this if need be. So that will make it that will ensure that this title is kind of not misspelled, or nothing is missed out in those terms. So, and all this edits can only be done in the draft version. So once you submit it, then the HQ has to kind of reject it out, and then you have to submit everything again. So to avoid that whole process, we recommend you to use this magnifying glass that will help, kind of with that. So one of the other item that we found was opening attachments from the child records. So, for example, say we have any action implementations, right? So, so any so for any say for example this cap implementation, we have these finding attachments, right? So for what happens is that whenever we try to open it, it gives us an error that we don't have permissions to open it. Um, so what is the alternative is that we can either go to this particular finding from the findings table and view the attachment, um, or you can go to related tab and documents, um, and that should also show the attachments that are there to open. But for any parent, it is highly recommended that we go to that particular parent record and open it. That would make it more easier to view the attachment. Um, yeah, I think that's all I had in those um, support items. Um, any other questions? Um, Shika, do you have anything to add on to these things? Think
I think we covered it all.
good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If no other questions, then thank you, everyone. And this was quite interactive. We will look into these questions that you have provided us, the feedback, um, and we'll
Hey, Keisha, real
make it
quick.
more efficient. Yeah.
I want to thank everyone for taking the time to attend this demo today for the release 2 with SCORE. I am aware some of the items that are coming out with this new release is new. So we will be within the CDL division be getting you, like DQ said, more guidance and information regarding those newer items in SCORE. But again, thank you for your patience participating, asking the questions. If you have any additional questions, feel free to send them in to us. You can send them to me, the SCORE team support, however you would like. But include the SCORE support because they're more than likely going to have your answers. But if you come up with some additional questions, even after it's completed, the demo is completed today, please make sure to send them in. Like Keisha said, we have taken note of some of the recommendations for future enhancements. Just know we are trying to work the system so that it's a better use, and an easier process for you in the field to be able to get the APRs done more efficiently and to help you. That is our goal, is to make this platform user friendly and make the APR process an easier transition or transaction. So again, thank you for participating today, asking your wonderful questions, and being here and learning with us. At this time, if there are no more questions, feel free to chime in now if you have any. And I'll give it back to you, Keisha, for closing out.
Sure. Thank you. Okay. All right. I see one question here. What's the best way to update state contacts in SCORE? You contact us, the SCORE support, and we can help you do that. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions? Any other feedbacks? All right. Thank you, everyone, and you have a great evening ahead.
Thank you.